If you're watching this video, it's because you have depression, or maybe you suspect that you're going through depression. Did you know that Mother Nature created natural solutions to help you combat depression? In this video, I'm going to go over the top 5 herbs, natural TCM herbs that we use in our clinic to treat depression. Now, when we say treat depression, we're talking about we don't treat depression, the symptom, we treat the root cause. The root cause is an organ dysfunction. It's because a few of your organs, more specifically your liver, because that's the main organ that helps you can regulate your mood, but there's other organs too. And so when those organs dysfunction, that's when you get the symptom of depression. So if you fix that organ, if you help that organ restore its function, guess what? It is able to do its job and regulate your depression, and your depression goes away, right? That's what normally occurs if all of your organs are functioning. That's what we consider fixing the root cause. I'm going to go over the top 5 herbs. It's not the only herbs we use, but it's 5 of the main herbs that we use for people who come into our clinic for depression. So what are they? Number 1, 柴胡. Number 2, 郁金. Number 3, Yuan Zhi. Number 4, Huan Pi. Number 5, Shi Chang Pu. Don't worry, I'm going to go over the English names. But if you're watching this, if you've been diagnosed with depression and you've gone to a physician, then most likely you are on a medication, because that is the only treatment they have. They may send you for some psychotherapy, but typically they use medication first, right? And you're probably either taking the medication and it's not working. It's like you're still depressed, right? Or maybe you're thinking about, I'm so depressed. Should I be taking these antidepressants, right? Or maybe you're in scenario number 3 where you're taking the medication and it helps. It dropped your depression from a 10 out of 10 down to maybe a 3 out of 10, right? But here's the problem. When we treat people who come in for depression in our clinic, this is their number 1 concern. This is what they tell us. I just don't feel like myself. You ever feel like that? Maybe you're taking the depression medications and it dropped your depression and anxiety, right? But you feel like something's missing. You just don't feel like yourself, right? And you just feel like, I want to be my old self. That's why people come to our clinics, because we help them get off their medication so that they can go back to being themselves without the fluctuation and depression and anxiety. But let's first go over some general information so we're all on the same page. What is depression? So this is how conventional medicine views depression. Okay, this is the gold standard. None of this is my opinion. I have research links to every piece of information that I'm sharing in this video. Okay, if I don't have a link, if it's my personal opinion, don't worry, I'll let you know. And I also want to make sure I give you a disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor. I was not trained to prescribe medications and do surgery. Okay, so that's why this information that I'm presenting is from clinical research. It's not my opinion, okay? So always check with your physician before you do anything. This video is just to share with you the success that we get in our clinic for our patients who come in with depression. It is not a prescription, it's not my recommendation for you. You need to talk to a physician. I am required by YouTube and Google to tell you that, whether I agree with that or not. But let's get into it. How he explains depression. What's the gold standard of depression? Conventional medicine historically views depression as a problem of low serotonin and related brain chemical signaling, which is why antidepressants medications were designed to raise those signals. The medications were designed to raise your serotonin levels because they believe conventional medicine and so-called standard research, clinical research shows that depression is caused by low serotonin. It's actually not the complete answer. It's not the root cause, which I'll get into later, okay? But mainstream medicine usually says depression is more complex than just serotonin. Even though the gold standard, which is controlled by Big Pharma, the gold standard is to prescribe medication. But after physicians who actually care about their patients, they observe that when they give their patients these antidepressants, it doesn't fix them. right? And that's why they're like, oh, it's more complex. It cannot be just a serotonin deficiency, right? Because you think about it, if the real root cause is a serotonin deficiency, serotonin is a brain neurotransmitter. If the root cause is because you lack this, then if you give more of this, wouldn't it solve the problem, right? So if you gave more of it and it didn't solve the problem, then what does that mean? That means whatever you thought was a root cause really isn't the root cause. This is the fallacy of many clinical research. Now, I'm not against research. I love research. I'm a biochemist, but I'm just saying you can't treat research as the Bible. Okay. Research doesn't tell us everything, but it helps us. It gives us additional information, which I think is crucial. It gives us data, but it does not give us facts and the truth. So even conventional medicine is discovering that themselves. Depression is not caused just by low serotonin, because if it did, all these medications should have fixed it, but they don't, as we will see later. Okay, medications are still used because they can shift the brain signaling and help many people feel better over time. So really the gold standard for treating depression is just to make you feel better. That's it. It's not about fixing the problem, okay? It's about getting you addicted to one pill so that you have to take this pill every day to feel better, okay? But like I shared earlier, you don't really feel like yourself, right? Because these medications are manipulating your neurotransmitters. We'll get into more detail about the neurotransmitters, but what is serotonin? It's a signaling chemical used in the brain, gut, and blood platelets. What does it really do to your body? Serotonin regulates your mood, your sleep, your appetite, your pain perception, stress response, memory, learning, intestinal movement, and platelet clotting functions. It's almost like the gas and the brake to dopamine. Dopamine is kind of like, you drive a car, you press on the gas accelerator, that's like dopamine, right? Dopamine gets you to move, take action, motivate you. Serotonin is like, ooh, let's relax, let's calm down, right? So dopamine is kind of like pressing the gas pedal. Serotonin is kind of like stepping on the brake pedal. Look at this. Do these drugs cure depression? This is based on clinical research. So this is not my opinion. No. It should be not usually no, it should be no. They are mainly used to reduce symptoms and lower relapse risk, not as a guaranteed permanent cure. So Western medicine, even clinical research shows that these medications do not cure depression. They do not fix it, okay? They only mask it like a Band-Aid. Will some people stay on them long term? Yes. See, some people taper off later, but others stay on them for years, depending on how often depression and how severe it is. What the research doesn't show, doesn't say, this is my team's clinical experience, is that if you've been on antidepressants for years, for 5 years, 10 years, it's very difficult to get off because these medications manipulate brain chemistry. Our bodies are built to adapt. So our bodies adapt to the new brain chemistry balance, right? So if you try to wean off your antidepressants, that significantly disrupts that neurochemistry balance, that balance in your brain. So it's very hard, right? It can be done. We do it all the time in our clinic. So it can be done. We have many success stories about that. Possible long-term side effects. This is probably some things that maybe your family doctors or your psychiatrist doesn't tell you. Sexual dysfunction, libido, you have no libido, okay? Weight gain, emotional blunting. This is what I'm talking about, emotional blunting. This is one of the most common ones, at least what we see in our practice, is that people coming in saying, I don't feel depressed, but I don't feel like myself, okay? Some of them will say, I feel like a zombie. I'm just coasting through life. Now, if you're okay living a life like that, hey, more power to you. I'm not saying that's wrong. But if you're not okay, if your kids, your family, your spouse, they're not okay with you not being yourself, then you might want to continue watching. The side effects also of these antidepressants, they cause insomnia, right? And that's huge. And if you don't sleep well, guess what? That disrupts everything in your body. So they don't talk about the downstream effects. They give you a medication so that you don't feel depressed, but it's giving you all these side effects over the years, right? And one of these side effects is that it affects your sleep quality. The only time your body heals is when you sleep. And if you can't have a good night's sleep and you're not getting good quality, guess what? Your body's not healing. So other problems start occurring. And it all started from you taking this antidepressant. Of course, no one's going to admit that. There is not going to be any research done on these downstream side effects, because if they did, then they would have to ban antidepressants. So, what are the common antidepressants? We're looking at serotonin, SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So remember, Western medicine thinks depression is caused by low serotonin. So SSRIs will they block serotonin reuptake, which leaves more serotonin available for nerve cells to use. Over time, this can help calm stress circuits and support healthier mood signaling. Okay, so that's one way that they use medications. Another ones are SNRIs, serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. They block the reuptake of two neurotransmitters, serotonin and norepinephrine. When it allows the serotonin and the norepinephrine neurotransmitters to be elevated, to be high in your blood, typically what happens is it strengthens your mood, your alertness, and your stress response. Now, here's another one, bupropion. What does this do? This mainly raises your norepinephrine and dopamine, okay? It excites, remember, dopamine is if you're driving a car, you're pushing down on the accelerator of your car. It's making you motivated. It's making you take action, okay? It's getting that energy pumping. It's trying to get you to be more like yourself, okay? But it's manipulating it, right? So this medication is to help norepinephrine and dopamine increase rather than your serotonin, which can help support drive, mental focus. The last one is mirtazapine. I apologize, I'm butchering these names, okay? I didn't go to school to pronounce these names correctly, so I apologize, okay? This changes specific norepinephrine and serotonin receptors in a way that increases release of these mood-related signals and often makes people feel sleepier and hungrier. Just because you're sleepier doesn't mean you'll get a good night's sleep. Making you sleepier and versus increasing the quality of your sleep are two different things. Okay, so these are the common treatments, the gold standard of treating depression. And if anybody says that otherwise, then the medical association, especially here in the US, American Medical Association, will crack down on those. So I'm just reporting facts. Now, neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are supposedly what cause all of this disruption in this depression. So the most common ones are serotonin, like I already mentioned before. It helps regulate your mood, sleep, appetite, perception, stress response, memory, learning, intestinal movement, okay? And then the opposite of it is dopamine. Dopamine is that reward. It's that motivation, okay? Attention, movement control. They think lack of dopamine is the cause of Parkinson's, right? If you want to be more goal-oriented, you need more dopamine. It also affects endocrine signaling for mental energy, interest, and action. Norepinephrine, that's another one. Helps control arousal, attention, alertness, stress readiness. It helps regulate your blood pressure, heart-related sympathetic signaling, and then epinephrine, that's what we know as adrenaline, stress hormone. If a dog is chasing you, you are secreting adrenaline, which is epinephrine. So it's helping you raise your blood pressure, your heart rate, your blood sugar availability, increases cortisol, blood flow into your muscles. So you can run away from the dog, right? Or the fake imaginary dog, right? So those are the neurotransmitters. Now, I know I'm going through this really fast. I created this nifty dashboard that I will make available on our new site of a restorative longevity. So pay attention. It will announce where to get access to this, okay? You can always rewatch this video. So coming down to the real part that you were probably waiting for, right? What are the herbs that you use, Jimmy, in your clinic? What does your team use? The number one herb for depression is Chaihu Bupleurum. Again, I'm probably butchering that name. I apologize, right? What does Chaihu Bupleurum do? It is serotonin and dopamine modulation, hypothalamus pituitary axis regulation. It increases proteins that protect your neurons. Neurons are nerve cells in your actually nerve cells anywhere, but we're talking about specifically in your brain, but anti-inflammatory effects. So serotonin and dopamine modulation. The word modulation is key. If you notice, I'm going to scroll really fast up here, right? These medications up here, they only do one thing. They block serotonin reuptake. They block something, or they raise. They either decrease or they increase, but they don't do both. This is the beauty of Chinese medicine herbs. That's when they say modulation. Now, again, this is not my opinion. The studies are here. Okay, I'll have the links here. So this Chinese herb, Chai Hu, has the ability to raise and lower serotonin, dopamine. It can balance both of those neurotransmitters. How cool is that? That is the beauty of Chinese herbs, because those medications are a single chemical. A single chemical can only do one thing, raise it or lower it. But Chai Hu, Chinese herbs, they're filled with hundreds of chemicals, perfectly balanced, because God made them in nature. These Chinese herbs are just like food. They were made in nature. They were not made in a laboratory, right? Anything made in a laboratory has only one effect and it has many side effects. God created these herbs for us. He knew that we were going to get depressed. He created the medicine already available in Mother Nature. And Chai Hu Bupleurum is one of them, okay? It's best used stress-driven depression or cortisol dysregulation. Clinical evidence, okay, this is just a depression score. It's comparable to SSRIs in mild and moderate depression in formula-based trials. So it does the same thing as the medications above. How cool is that? But without any of those side effects. No, I'm not saying herbs don't create side effects. Herbs can. Okay, but their side effects are significantly less than medications. Big Pharma downplays their side effects. And then Big Pharma encourages medical doctors to say, Chinese herbs are so dangerous. Their side effects are so dangerous. No, yes, they have side effects, but their side effects are not more dangerous than the ones created by Big Pharma. And if you're mixing them in a correct way, you need to find a TCM practitioner. Don't do this yourself, okay? But you need to find a TCM practitioner to help you mix them. Because remember, in our clinic, we never prescribe one herb. All of our patients get 30 to 40 herbs all the time together. It's a combination, okay? In pharmacology, it's called compounding. When you compound certain herbs together, you can neutralize the herb B, can neutralize the side effect of herb A. And then you can get only all the benefits of herb A. That's when you know how to combine herbs, okay, which my team is very good at it, okay? When you know how to combine it, then herbs in general are safe. Very safe in our clinic. Next one, Yu Jing, Curcuma. Oh, what does that sound like? Does it sound like curcumin? Yes. It's a type of curcumin, but it's not the same. It's a type. It's an enzyme inhibition. This enzyme breaks down those neurotransmitters. When you slow down the enzyme from breaking down the neurotransmitters, what is the result? The result is you get increased serotonin and increased dopamine, right? So you get the gas pedal and the brake, okay? So you get a balanced, okay? That probably wasn't a good analogy, because if you stepped on the gas pedal and the brake in your car, you'd probably break your car. Okay, so don't do that. This is a balance of serotonin and dopamine. When you need to be more chill, relaxed, this herb can help your serotonin go up. When you need to be more motivated, you need to be driven, this herb will help your dopamine go up and relatively to your serotonin. So it's that balance, it's that modulation, right? All of these herbs have anti-inflammatory and neuroprotection. These can protect your nerves. This was comparable to fluoxetine in a randomized control trial, okay? Significant symptom reduction versus. So these first two herbs I've already showed you, Eugene, Bupleurum, and Curcuma, they can give you the exact same results as a medication above, okay, without all those side effects, without feeling like a zombie and losing yourself. Next, Yuan Zhi, Polygala, increase proteins that help protect your neurons. Neurotransmitter enhancement, better synaptic plasticity, is flexibility, it's the adaptability. It helps your neurons adapt. GABA modulation, same thing. GABA, opposite of glutamate. It improves mood and cognition used in depression with memory impairment. So Yuan Zhi can be used for memory problems, right? So Alzheimer's, we do use that. Depression with brain fog and cognitive decline. Actually, two of these herbs we use as a combo. So a lot of Chinese medicine, there's a lot of combo herbs, right? The combo is this herb, Polygala and Acorus. These are two combos that we use on our team all the time for any type of brain acuity, mental, memory, sleep, anything. Anything with the brain, depression, anxiety, we use these two combos. Shi Chang Pu, Acorus, dopamine and serotonin modulation. Again, balance, neuroprotection, cognitive enhancement. See, that's why we use that combo, right? It improves post-stroke depression and cognition, neurological depression related to brain injury or aging. And the last one is Albizia. Are you Albizia? Albizia. Serotonin and GABA modulation. Again, it's that all these herbs do modulate, they balance. Anti-anxiety. This is really calming. Huan Pi is also used for sleep, okay? Anti-inflammatory. Improves in clinical evidence. They say it helps with sleep. In our clinic, it helps with sleep. And we've treated thousands of patients, right? We are the #1 rated acupuncture and wellness clinic in the entire US by the public. Improves mood and sleep, reduces depressive behavior. This one has limited human data. We see this all the time. When we want to help someone with sleep, we always give this herb, okay? In combination, not by itself. Depression with anxiety and insomnia, right? So these are the top herbs that we use. Remember, we use 20 to 30, 30 to 40 herbs in every customized prescription. And we've also created certain proprietary formulas, okay, which we will be releasing soon on our restorative longevity. But herbs in general can help you with the depression because not only do they focus on the neurotransmitters, I didn't include all the benefits of those herbs. Those herbs specifically, okay, especially that first one, chai hu, is one of the top herbs to help restore your liver function. What did I say earlier on in this video? As the root cause of depression is a dysfunction of one of your organ systems. Now, that's not even the root cause, but I'm just going to go through this. Okay, just follow me here. You got depression. What caused it? It was a liver dysfunction. Liver dysfunction, liver regulates your mood. If your liver is not functioning correctly, it's imbalanced, then it won't help regulate your mood. You will have anxiety, you will have depression. If you can restore your liver function, then your anxiety, depression, mood swings, bipolar, all goes away. But why is the liver not the root cause? Because you got to think, always got to think this, what caused the liver to be dysfunction in the first place? That's what I call the 3 stresses: physical, emotional, and chemical, okay? These are the 3 main causes. It's stress, okay? But stress is not just, oh, I'm stressed out. I'm not talking about that type of stress only. That's an emotional stress, which is true. There's a physical, chemical, and emotional, 3 types of stress, and that's part of our lifestyle. The root cause is always our lifestyle habits. You change that, you update that, then you will stop damaging your liver, and your liver will be able to help regulate your mood, and your depression, poof, will go away, and welcome back the old you.